Hey everyone,
Fucking love you.
welcome to Sad Panda Presents. This is a podcast about music in which we're going to discuss some different albums that we're listening to. Right now we're going through the staff pick list on theconsequenceofsound.net for their top 100 albums ever. This time we are talking about number 66 on the list, DEVO, Duty Now for the Future. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Shane.
So what's up, man? What's been going on?
Oh, not a lot of. Just trying to stamp out the ignorance in the world.
Yeah.
Me on that. Nothing crazy. How about you, buddy?
Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah. I don't know. We've just been doing shower stuff. Work's been a little stressful. I don't know. I don't look behind the curtain. We did this already.
Right, so, whatever do you mean, sir? It's been so long since I've talked to you.
Intro stories might be a little
sir.
short. Don't really have the patience for it again. Yeah, I don't know, man. Shower stuff's going good. Got a tile saw. That's a neat tool. Cuts through like butter.
Yeah, you didn't talk about the tile saw.
No,
I didn't know
I
you were. I didn't know you were. So
bring
you're
something
cutting
else
your
up.
own. You're cutting your own tile.
Oh yeah, yeah, man.
No
We're doing
shit.
like everything ourselves.
How does that work? Do you have to have a special blade and like a line saw or something like that?
I just bought like a $200 tile saw. It's got a blade. It's basically a blade made for cutting tile. Hold on. I don't know if that came through.
Yeah, well, yeah. Anyway, so you just bought a tile saw. I didn't know there was a. I thought it was like an attachment for like a saw.
No. It looks like a little miniature table saw.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a little tank of water, and it spins the blade in the tank of water, and cuts through tile. Works great. Wonderful thing. I figured for as much tile cutting as we're going to do, worth it.
Buying a tool is worth. Yeah, the juice would be worth the squeeze to get.
Yeah, especially if we do the other shower in the future, which we might.
I think.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say that's going to happen eventually.
Right.
You don't know it yet, but it's already happening. That's part two that you might be in denial about.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, man, we do these home improvement projects and like just buy the tool for the job. Like it just makes it so much easier than like trying to
trying to
redneck engineer it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So you know, and it costs a few $100s, but if we ever do this kind of work to another house, like because we're not going to stay here forever. I like this house a lot, but we don't want to live in San Angelo forever. So Anyway, so yeah, tile saw's cool.
Neat.
I don't know. What's up with you, man?
Oh, not a lot of. Long story short, I had to fail about 30% of my kids the first 9 weeks because online school is kind of different. And yeah. I had to call because about 45 of my kids didn't take my first test that I assigned.
Right.
So I had to call all of their parents and talk to them and let them know that they did not take the test and blah, 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 blah. Well, that bumped up another 5, so I have to call 50 parents tomorrow and let them know that their son and or daughter did not take the test on Monday or Tuesday.
Right.
So, I don't know. I was going to do it Friday. My first thought was, I'm going to call their parents on Friday night, and I would fuck up their weekend.
Right.
Then I thought about it, and I was like, well, maybe I'll call him Saturday Morning. Because, that has a long enough longevity to really sink in.
Yeah.
Then I thought again, you know what? I'm going to call him at noon on Sunday. Because parents, everybody's kind of either went to church, they feel good.
Yeah.
They're probably half hungover. They went to church. They feel guilty. Now there's teachers calling them. Like that, I feel like that would be like a trifecta of an ass beating to whip their ass into shape to take the fucking test.
Right.
I should have done all week. I don't know. That was my process this morning. That was just me.
Fucking A, man. Okay, so DEVO.
So DEVO. What do you know of DEVO before this happened?
Well, I knew of Whip It because everybody does. And I'm pretty sure that I wasn't, that I didn't know I was familiar with them because I'm also pretty sure they wrote like the rolling intro credits to every 80s movie ever. Because God, that's what this album sounds like. Like, dude, this is so 80s.
Yeah, it's very Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, where they're having like the Casio band and they're playing electronic violins and all that crazy shit. Yeah.
Right. By the way, this phone call sounds like shit. Like I can barely hear you. You're all muffled and shit.
Oh, well, my bad. How about now? How you like me now?
That's better.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, man. Super 80s sound. I mean, basically synth punk, right? Like super synthesizer heavy. There's the rest of the band is there, but it's just like, man, they very much feature electronic sounds.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I like what they do with it is that it's not just like a guitar or like a piano that has weird synthy things. I think what they do is they use it on all the instruments that they have. So like, you can kind of hear it in like the bass, you can hear it in the guitar, and the actual synth. But I think they do it with like, I don't know, they use a shitload of it, and trying to unfuck that pony is real fucking like hard to really get my head around on what's happening. Like to untether this knot of what sound's coming from where and who's playing that note kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. This is definitely like a punk album. So there's a guitar with a fuzz and like bass with fuzz sometimes not. Sometimes it's clean. And then your drums come through. But yeah, and there's just synth all over this. And I mean, it's not necessarily that every instrument has this effect on it all the time. They are selective about it. So it's not necessarily like every single thing has an effect all the time. But because I do think they are selective. Like I don't think they fuck with the drums much at all. And I think the bass has it some places and some places it doesn't. But yeah, there's a lot of synth here.
No, for sure. And I know, for the most part, they... Good Lord. I had a point. No, I think what the thing is, when they use that synth, they do it for that reason. Like
right.
It's intentional. You know what I mean? It's not just thrown haphazardly, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is super interesting. Like they do some things on this album that are kind of neat. They do have a cover here, which is Secret Agent Man, and I thought it was an interesting take. It's very synth punk. Who would think? But yeah,
For sure, and it's a different. I don't know. I kind of like the way I like the direction that they went with it. Like it's kind of like hearing growing up with like what's his name Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, and then hearing Jeff Buckley play Hallelujah.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a different take on a really good song, or a song, but it's a different animal for sure.
Yeah, man, I think I liked the original better, but I wasn't disappointed listening to this. I'll put it that way. Like, I do think I still enjoy the original kind of lounge feel of the Secret Agent Man, but I do like what they did with it, taking it in a different direction. I thought it was a creative take because they don't really stick to the formula of the song. I mean, they do in the sense that it's the right lyrics and the right chords and shit, but they change it. They modify it, and the rhythm isn't quite right all the time. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I thought it was an interesting take.
No, it was definitely interesting. I dig it.
Yeah.
That was a good take, Bob. That was a good take, Bob.
It's fun. It's just not. I think I still like the original better, but if I heard this version come on, I wouldn't be like, fuck that. I would still listen to it. You know what I mean?
For sure. And I think they're the real fun thing about this band is that they have they're punk, but they're doing a different kind of punk.
Yeah,
they're pushing that envelope to a different style, which I guess kind of started the wave for like new wave and synth pop and all that stuff that would come out that would later be
sure
all that shit that you hear in the 80s, like the Flock of Seagulls or the fucking the Cars or that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That have all that.
Yeah,
because
we think of this as kind of like super 80s, but you told me the first time that this came out in what, 79?
Yeah, this was in 70. They were working on it. They started working on demos in like 76 when they when they were writing these songs, and then it just so happened that they put it all together onto this is their second album.
Right.
This is like all the stuff they kind of played with and did different things with, but it actually came out in 79 for sure.
Okay. Yeah. But this, I mean, 79 or not, this is quintessential 80s. Like, this is the sound that would go on to define the 80s, I feel like.
That decade for sure.
And
I think that's kind of a reason why they put this one on here, is because this was a sound that influenced, this was the pebble in the stream, if you will, that made that wave to be the new wave.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. Yeah. I think so. I think this is setting a good precedent for what becomes popular in the 80s.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and they did a good job.
I agree. Okay, so where do you want to go from here?
I don't know. Oh, I do want to go here. I do want it documented because I think I know what your favorite song is. And
right.
I want it known that I've written it down.
Yeah, so I went ahead and wrote down my top 3, and I wrote down what I think your number one song is. As well, because you brought this idea up, and so I went ahead and did that too.
Okay.
And we'll get to that when we do our ratings, I guess.
For sure. Well, I just want it noted that I have yours written down and you have mine written down, and that we will get to that later.
Right.
For sure. So I do want to touch on a couple of things before we actually get into the album.
Sure. Go ahead.
The producer is Ken Scott, and Ken Scott worked with David Bowie, and he produced Ziggy Stardust and Aladdin Sane.
Nice.
Which is Ziggy Stardust, of course, and then Aladdin Sane. That's the one where he has the white face with the red
lightning bolt
thingy. Yeah, for sure. And He said that he loved working with these guys, and that they only worked with one producer, and then they moved on. So I like that idea. I like that idea of that band, that they go to one producer and they want to try a sound and see what they have to influence, and they go to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's
constantly evolving, like from person to person.
That's super interesting. That makes me want to look at more of their catalog, more so than I did before. Like, don't get me wrong, I liked this album, but I'm not like a diehard Devo fan now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I haven't drank the Kool-Aid yet, but
right.
I got the taste on my lips. It's there, but I'm not shotgunning the shit yet.
Right,
for sure.
But this was a really fun album to listen to.
It is. It's very different.
I do have one thing. Part of the reason I like this album, that I think I've found myself struggling with for other artists, is that they do a really good job of writing songs that are unique. So what I mean by that is there have been several albums where we've listened through, and at least for me, when I'm listening through, songs will like blend together, and I kind of like their style is so I don't know how to say this,
like
but their
homogenous.
style is so homogenous or uniform,
mm-hmm.
that some of their songs just blend together, and like I forget which song is which. But with this album, man, like I know what song I'm listening to. And I want to commend them for that, because I think that is a difficult thing to do. Like, not only do they have a sound that is definitively Devo, but they're capable of writing songs in a way that make the songs within their sound stand out amongst their own sound, which is a lot of words in a weird way of saying it, but do you get where I'm coming from?
For sure, because we've seen that in a couple of different things. I remember that in like The Shape of Punk to Come, that we listened to, where there was like the different styles of punk, and they had their kind of ideas, like what would the punk sound like and whatever. So every song was kind of different from each other.
And I'm trying to think of like, I don't know, hip hop like, for me runs together, but then like
I was thinking of the Talking Heads.
Okay.
As well, like every song was very different from every other song.
Right.
Or like Elton John, Yellow Brick Road, every song was a different kind of style. Like not exactly, but he did it with like style.
Yeah, no,
like,
I guess my comment about
like
hip hop was that it kind of runs together for me. Oh, I'm sorry, I was going the opposite direction. And so like I don't know, like we've seen albums like, I don't know, like Bob Dylan. Sorry, but a lot of this stuff sounds the same.
It just sounds like it's so homogenous that you don't know when one song ends and the other begins.
Right, and like some hip hop does that for me too, or a lot of it does, because I'm not a huge fan, so I don't recognize the the things that make the beats unique, I guess. I'm not super versed in that kind of thing. That being said, I mean, like, there's always like some unique songs and stuff, but hell, we just listened to Leonard Cohen. Man, like,
I was gonna say, like Leonard Cohen, like sometimes like the songs would change, but if like in the background, it going on, I couldn't tell you what song was playing.
Yeah,
if I'm not paying it, if I'm not focusing,
right,
and paying like 100% attention, I couldn't tell you what song was playing. I know it's Leonard Cohen, it's noise, but
I think part of that is just using repetitive elements throughout your songs. But Devo, did something different here. They changed up the beat and the rhythm enough between their songs, and I'll point out Blockhead.
Well, go ahead and tell me one of those songs that does that, Andrew. Let's get into this
I'll
thing.
point out Blockhead is one of their songs that does that. The beat is very different. Like it's the way that the beat and the rhythm interact on this song. Like you don't expect it to line up the way it does. It's a little counterintuitive, and it kind of comes out, especially coming off of Wiggly World, which is the song before it. It kind of is a little weird, and so you recognize there's a change there, and it gives the song a signature, if you will. Where if I'm listening, I'm like, okay, that's Blockhead, and the kind of counterintuitiveness goes away as you get to the chorus, but coming into the song, like it seems a little off, if you will. And I think it's interesting what they do. So that's one example of what I'm talking about.
Okay, because I didn't really get the okay, sure. I got more of that everything was symmetrical, and I thought that was the whole point of the song, is we're talking about squares in society, and I thought that was kind of the theme of what they're doing musically.
It could be.
You know what I mean? Like everything has to like fit that block.
I guess so, but
like,
the way that the intro beat and the intro rhythm line up, it's kind of goofy. Like it's not super lined up.
Maybe that's the point, is that, they're talking about squares, like, uptight people, you know what I mean? And then doing that, like, you talk about because in the lines, like 90-degree angles.
Yeah.
So everything needs to be square. So, like, maybe doing that off-kilter thing, talking about squares, is the whole point of the song? Does that make sense?
I don't know. I think maybe they're talking about, like, I think maybe they're talking about, like, the stereotype of a person. Like, he's a blockhead.
A square, like in 1950s lingo, you're a fucking square, bro.
Yeah,
look at that square. That's what I thought they were talking. Like when in one of the Atmosphere's lines, he says, "I'm just another square saltine."
Okay,
I'm a loser white dude. You know what I mean? Like a square.
Yeah, it could very well be. I
thought that was the point.
It's a fun song, anyway.
Yeah. Honestly, it reminded me of. Do you remember that song from Scott Pilgrim, "Garbage Truck"?
Yeah, I do.
It kind of like it for me. It like when I hear this song, I hear that. In my garbage truck, John. Yeah, John. You know, that kind of, it had that feel to it.
Yeah.
But it did have a really cool solo. I did like that.
Yeah, man, they do a lot of interesting things here, and it's probably just because we're not used to this style of music, right? But still, like, being introduced to this, coming from the backgrounds that we have, where this is pretty alien, was
well, you can speak for yourself.
I mean, okay. But think about it. Like, do you listen to a lot of artists that like are real synth heavy like this, and are like synth punk like this?
The Faint, Beep Beep, Daft Punk, Head Automatica, and kind of a bunch of electronica. Yes, I do.
Oh,
I do,
all right. Well,
actually,
that's kind of alien to me. Like, I've listened to most of those bands as well, but it's not my wheelhouse, if you will.
Yeah. No, Andrew, you remember a while ago when we did a whole album on Aphex Twin, the whole thing on Aphex Twin?
No, I do.
I listened to that because I like it.
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? So this is nothing new. I mean, this is like
Yeah, but like Aphex isn't this. It's different, but it doesn't have this kind of personality to it. It's got a very different personality than this does.
Honestly, this makes me think of the closest thing I can think of for this band is like Primus or like Weird Al or
I can see Weird Al. Primus doesn't click with me.
They don't do a lot of the synth things, but the absurdum that they do.
Okay.
The weird timings, that dizzy effects, the
all right.
You know what I mean? Like the way they play reminds me of Primus, especially in the song SIB.
Okay.
It like I can't remember what the name of this song is. I know
Swelling,
it's SIB.
Itching Brain.
Yeah, Swelling Itchy Brain. Honestly, it sounds like if Primus were to make a song in like the first Zelda, like in a dungeon in the first Zelda. Like that's what it sounds like to me. And it sounds like they would do that. Like think of those two things happening together, and this is what this song sounds like.
Yeah,
it's like what a throbbing headache feels like. Like it sounds like what a headache feels like.
Yeah, I really liked this song.
Yeah, for sure.
It was. It's about like a fucking migraine, and that's not super familiar to me. I mean, I've had some pretty fucked up headaches, but mostly due to hangovers. But I mean, like this song to me isn't about the theme of the lyrics. This song is just a goofball musical thing. Like
that's what I'm saying. Like this, like it sounds like what a headache feels like.
Sure.
That kind of in and out.
Sure.
In and out. Like
I definitely think that's what they were going for, and it really, I don't know, it felt weirdly good to me to listen to this song.
No, they did a good job doing it for sure. Like they absolutely did. Anyway, yeah. So I like that one a lot. I think that was a very different kind of song for the most part.
Yeah, I did too.
I did like the intro song, the corporate anthem.
Yeah.
So it sounded like fucking. It sounded like fucking Clockwork Orange, like the movie, or like Monty Python and the Holy Grail, like something in the middle of those. Like I couldn't quite split the hair on that one.
Yeah, I really got synth bagpipes out of this song. Is kind of how I felt it was, but yeah, I can see where you're going
for sure.
Because it's in kind of a goofy key, so it's not quite bright, but it's not quite dark, but it's got this like just very intense sound about it. So yeah, I can see where you're going with.
Yeah, this idea for this song actually came from the movie Rollerball, which was a 1975 movie.
Sure.
And they had basically it was kind of like super fucking corporatized. I don't know. It was a very like dystopian universe where like it was like a corporatocracy type of thing where the corporations ran everything. So think of like remember Mystery Men where they had Idiocracy.
Yeah,
that kind of shit, like where everything was like over corporatized.
Right.
That kind of reality. So it was influenced by that, but I thought it was very dystopian sounding for sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they did a good job with that. I did like. Let me see. I did like Timing X. I think that was a fun instrumental song that really like it felt like a Daft Punk song for me.
Yeah,
it was really really good. I did like that one.
It man, Timing X was really interesting. It's man, it's just like I don't know. I don't know how to describe this song except that it just fucking like the way the guitar in this and the beat in this just resonated in a really fun way to me. This song is up there for me. Like, this is a really interesting instrumental, and I just really, really enjoyed it. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, it was very, it was very intricate for sure, and it had a lot of fun turns and doohickeys. But I mean, every song on here has a thing. Like, I've written down so many different things about all these songs, and like Wiggly World, it's punk, but like if you threw in a bunch of lasers from like Lost in Space, those laser pew pew sounds from Lost in Space, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the Strange Pursuits. It's this dizzy springing sound that
Strange
you know what I mean?
Was
like
really interesting too. Like, I don't know. I there's not really a song on this album that I super dislike.
For sure. I did like Triumph of the Will. I like that one because it was it's about getting fucked. Like like you fucked a girl and like, but it sounds like it's so robotic, like that. Like, it's funny that they're talking about like I just had sex, that kind of song. But it's like super robotic. He just had sex. Yay, triumph of the will.
It's
you know what I mean?
Before I die, get another piece of pie, right? Like,
yeah, before I die, get another piece of pie for sure. And honestly, it kind of reminded me from the song Stonehenge from fucking this is Spinal Tap.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It kind of like, for me, it sounded like that. I was like, oh, that's a weird move, but okay.
Well, I mean, kind of the same era.
Yeah, they're about the same era.
Yeah. This one goes to 11.
Well, this one goes to 11.
Why not make 10 louder? Because this one goes to 11.
Dude.
I figured Triumph the Will was going to be up there for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like a super bad song on here.
Yeah.
Everything on here is very interesting. I did like Wiggly World.
Yeah, Wiggly World was
that was such a fucking strange song.
Dude, it's fucking Pee-wee's Playhouse.
For sure, but it did for me have the line of the album. And that was walk like a mannequin or roll like a tire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that was fucking, like, you either got to be fucking rigid and walk the line and be a square, or you can just fucking roll with it, bro. You just roll like a tire. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the, rigid versus fluid kind of personality thing. Anyway.
So going, fuck. God damn it. I had something, and I just lost it.
Anyway,
sorry. It's going to Smart Patrol. What did you think about Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA?
Next. That's where I was going next, because I was doing some research on this song, and they call the potato the mind and the spud a person.
Okay.
So I want to hold on. I want to time out right there with Spud, because in the Frank Miller Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, like that comic that Frank Miller did, The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Where basically Batman's an old dude and he comes back.
Yeah.
To fuck with. Anyway, so in that show, it's like the comic, but they made a movie out of it too. Anyway, in there, they it was set in the 80s, right? And the dudes like Robin was like a young girl, and she would call everybody Spud, or they called each other Spud and Billy and Chicken Legs and all this kind of shit. So when he said Spud, like, I'm just a Spud, and they refer to a person, that's the first thing my mind went to. I was like, what the fuck was that? Did Frank Miller dig on Devo and just use that terminology?
He could have.
In canon?
He very well could have. I love the "ain't no one around me understands my potato." I love that.
Ain't nobody understand me. Yeah,
I love it.
That's
I love all the fucking food puns. it just, dude, mwah.
Was it trying to get me a tomato or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, dude,
So
fucking chef
weird.
kiss. Get
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, no, I get it.
And I also
Heard it.
I also really like the change up in this song.
Yeah, where it just, man, it Jekyll and Hydes,
Yeah.
for sure.
The wait a
Because
minute,
we go
something's
from-
wrong.
And
Yeah,
then we go to like that heavy fucking. Then that's like the icing on the cake that this is a fucking punk album. Like, don't get it fucked up with all the weird bullshit on the outside.
well,
In its core, we're still punk, and then they do that, and then Red Eye too, and then it falls with Red Eye. But
I mean, like, so this is Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA is the longest song on the album, right?
yeah, for sure.
And normally I honestly like shorter stuff, which most of this album is, but this song, and I think it's because of the change up, because it's really two songs kind of mashed together, right?
Yeah, it's a 6-minute song, but it's really 2-3 minute song.
It really is. But
They
I
just kind of bleed into each other,
but I just really like what they do here.
like the way they did it.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And it does go into Red Eye, and Red Eye is just this. The Red Eye is probably, I think what you were getting at was that, like, when you referenced it, was like Red Eye is probably like the most punk song on here. Like the most just like, this is what you think
Like
of. This is what you think of when you think of
traditional
punk. Like,
Yeah,
versus the rest of this stuff, which is kind of goofy. Anyway, that's
yeah.
what I
like
thought you
at
were
the
trying
middle
to
of
convey.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm. At the middle of the Tootsie Pop, it's punk.
Right.
Whatever flavors on the outside that's just flavoring, and that's what they do.
Right.
But when you get to the end, that's the middle. That's it. It's still a fucking Tootsie Pop in the middle. You know what I mean?
For sure, and I think Red Eye shows that.
For sure.
So,
That was my point.
so man, I mean, there's only a couple of songs we haven't touched on, and we've blazed through this, which is a sign that we liked it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because we spend more time shitting on albums we don't like than whenever we find it. Well, also when we record stuff twice, we tend to go through it pretty quickly the second time.
Alan Jackson.
Yeah. Couple of
Anyway,
things we haven't touched on would be The Day My Baby Gave Me a Surprise and Pink Pussycat. What did you think about those two songs?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I did, The Day My Baby Gave Me a Surprise, it kind of reminded me of that what's that song? Oh where could my baby be?
Yeah. Last Kiss.
Like, that's
Last Kiss.
Yeah, Last Kiss. It's like Last Kiss, but in reverse, where he's the one in the hospital and she comes back to see him.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, but flipped. I don't know. It kind of made me think of like the Joker who fucking got boiled in acid, and then fucking Harley keeps coming in and like checking on him and shit, and then you know what I mean? Like, she told me she loved me. I got this bitch.
Yeah.
That's where my head went.
Yeah, I liked that song. I did. It's
fun. It's good. It's fine.
It's kind of middle of the road, but it's I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Pink Pussycat, honestly, that's my pee song.
Oh man. Row.
Is that one you really liked?
Row. No, that was the one I thought would be your favorite because you're a twat.
Oh,
but you're not a twat. So you're like...
That's great. That's great.
So since you're not a twat, that's not your favorite song.
No, I mean I can be.
friends.
I'm very capable of being a gigantic twaticopter. But no, it's kind of my pee song, man. This is the only song that didn't like really stand out to me.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to talk about it because I thought this was your favorite and you were just saving it. Like,
No.
no.
I was saving it for pee songs. Did you have a pee song?
Good, because That would be it.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That would be it. No, man, that song fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's just kind of there.
It's very, very in your face, and I just don't. I don't know, man. I don't like that much dick in my face, pussy in my face.
I mean, it's fine.
I do like a strip club, but goddamn, I might have got herpes now because you put so much pussy in my face. Jesus.
Don't get me wrong. Like, there's a time and place. Yeah, sit on my face. There's a time and place for that. But yeah, this is very much that song, and whatever. Like.
Yeah,
I don't.
Didn't dig it.
I don't walk around in public saying "sit on my face," like I only say that to like you and 2 other people. So, yeah, I don't know, man.
If I had a nickel every time I said it, though,
I'd have like 25 cents.
I could go get a candy bar.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. So one other thing that I do have to mention is that Mark Mothersbaugh, he was the scoring guy that did all of the Wes Anderson movies.
Okay.
And he's in this band.
Oh,
and
okay.
He also did all the music for the Rugrats.
Okay, that's cool.
That's why, like, I kept seeing his name, and I was like, fuck, I know that Mark Mothersbaugh. That's a weird name. And then, I kept thinking, and then it hit on me, and it dawned on me that, Papa! Papa! And I was like, oh, shit, that's him. Anyway, yeah, he was in the Rugrats. It's fun.
Yeah, did you watch a lot of the Rugrats? Did you like the Rugrats?
I did. I really did.
Yeah?
I liked the fuck out of it. Yeah, man, that was a good show.
Yeah, I agree.
It was really cool.
What
I did Peter Chung did a really good job. Like he did a lot of things with like perspectives, like looking through different lenses, like going through eyes or like pulling back from different like doing weird camera angles and stuff like that, and looking from different perspectives. That was pretty neat.
Yeah. What was
I like that.
What was your favorite Nicktoon?
Ooh, that's a question.
I know, right?
I don't know, man. Shit. I did like Ren and Stimpy like a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
I think so. Ren and Stimpy was kind of like right before my time. My parents didn't really let me watch it, but I would watch it with my brother occasionally. He would let me like sneak in and watch it with him.
I did like All Real Monsters.
All Real Monsters, dude.
Angry Beavers was a good one.
Angry Beavers was fantastic. I really also really enjoyed Doug and Hey Arnold. And
Doug was cool, but I think Hey Arnold was like the more chill, hip fucking Doug for the most part.
Yeah, I also really liked Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh, Rocco. Yeah, of course, Rocco. Of course, Rocco.
Man, I was and listening to the Tadpog episode about the Rocco SNES game. Dave does such a good fucking Rocco impression. At least on that episode.
Oh yeah.
Man, he does it a couple of times, but I was like, man, that was pretty good.
Dead on, man. Dead on.
Yeah.
I remember like my brother and I. You turn the page, you wash your hands. You turn the page, you wash your hands, and then you turn the page, and then you wash your hands again. Like we would quote that over and over again,
dude.
Like whenever we had to wash our hands.
Yeah. Nicktoons.
Those are fun.
Yeah. No, good shit, man. All right. Well, I mean, you want to do top threes?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's knock it out. What you got for number 3?
Okay, number 3. I'm gonna do man. This slot's kind of interchangeable, but I'm gonna do Swelling Itchy Brain.
Number 3? SIB, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. It's kind of between that and like Strange Pursuit or Blockhead. Maybe it's Blockhead. I don't know. Number 3. It's when number 3 is one of those interchangeable.
One of those three. One of those three is number 3.
Yeah, that kind of just. I don't know. Those are all really good songs. They could all be number 3. So I just kind of picked one. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But they're all fun in their own ways. They've all got this unique sound about them. So they're all kind of right there for me. What's your number 3? I know I totally copped out, but what's your number 3?
All right, so my number 3 is going to be Corporate Anthem.
Okay.
I really liked the intro. I thought it hit me in a weird way because it sounded like fucking Clockwork Orange, and I read the book in high school, and then I saw the movie, and I was a fucking droog and all that. But I dressed up like a fucking droog for Halloween more than once in my life.
Okay.
So it hit me. I was like, oh fuck. Okay, yeah, nah. Go on, Devo. Do what you will.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so your number 2, sir.
My number 2 is going to be Timing X / Space Junk. It's the instrumental on this album that I was talking you brought up, and I was just saying like it's got this sound about it that's just I don't exactly know how to describe it, but man, it's captivating. I like it a lot.
Je ne sais quoi, as the French would say.
I guess so. It's fucking captivating, and I really like this, the way they put the guitar sound together, the way they blend it with the synth sound. It's just, I just like it a lot. So that's my number 2.
Awesome, that's a good one.
What about you, sir?
That's a good one. My number 2 is definitely going to be Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA.
Okay.
I think that was a very fun song. That it felt like a fucking jam song.
Yeah.
Like it felt like this was the sweeping epic of the entire album.
Yeah.
And it was like a 1960s kind of jam song that I really liked.
Yeah. I would agree
with
that.
They did a good job.
I would agree with that. In addition to what we said earlier and all that, yeah, I agree.
All right, so number 1.
Well, we just talked about it. Smart Patrol, Mr. DNA.
That's your number 1?
Yeah, it is. It's
okay.
Dude, I fucking love the food puns. I love that they have different people singing different verses, which I don't think we talked about. But I don't know if different people sing them or different people wrote them. I'm not 100% sure.
But I think it's different people singing. They interchange. Like it's like that call and response, like chorus response, chorus response. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. That was really fun, and just everything about this, the change up that they do, the kind of 2-in-1 song. Even though it's the longest, it's my favorite on this album. So for me, that's the one. You said you thought my favorite song was Pink Pussycat because I'm a twat.
I did.
Which fair guess. Mm-hmm. So now I guess it's my turn to guess your favorite. And Clock Out? That's what I wrote down.
It's not Clock Out.
Huh?
No, it is not Clock Out.
Yeah, I just figured because it was getting out of work and you like to clock out and go home.
Yeah, I wish I could just clock out. I don't have a job. It's been a long time since I've had a job where I can clock out. I'm done.
I just kind of figured that would resonate with you, so that's why I picked it.
Yeah,
it's a fun song, but it's definitely not the best song on the album.
No,
but
SIB is.
But I do like the idea, and I thought maybe the idea would resonate with you enough that I could make it my guess. But what's your number 1?
For sure, SIB. I love that song. I think it's so fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
It has it feels like Primus and Zelda had a baby.
Yeah.
And I can't not get away from that. It's so fucking strange.
Yeah, it's really good.
It.
I agree.
It's really good.
So hey, I mean, we had two of our top threes interlapped.
Yeah,
so,
man, yeah, for sure. We only had one that was different.
Yeah.
Yeah, two middle-aged white guys had the same opinion. What? Weird. Oh my god.
Hey, these two guys that are best friends for like the last 10 years, they picked the same thing.
They like the same thing.
Yeah. Who'd have thought?
Holy shit. Yeah. Wow, weird, huh?
What a couple of douchebags.
What a couple of assholes. Anyway. What a couple of dumb shits.
But I mean,
and you.
Overall, I thought, man, this was kind of refreshing for this list. For me anyway.
It was. Yeah, for sure. It's been a while since I've had something to rejuvenate me like this to one dude.
Because I mean, we talked about Leonard
Cohen
Cohen and Lauryn Hill and the Smiths and the Beatles and Tom Waits. Tom Waits was a lot of fun, I will say.
So, I mean, yeah, I was going to say the last one that we had that was really off the fucking wall was Tom Waits.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about Chili Peppers and stuff like.
I know, but I mean, Chili Peppers, like, you know what you're going to get when you listen to the Chili Peppers.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that, and I know the Chili Peppers. Like,
yeah.
I've listened to their whole catalog several times over. I'm definitely not the biggest Chili Peppers fan. I know people that like the Peppers better than I do, for sure, like hands down. But it's a band that I really like. So it's like it wasn't like this where it was like I just went into something blindly. But Tom Waits was pretty good. The Smiths was fine. Lauryn Hill was fine. Leonard Cohen was.
He was there. He showed up.
Yeah.
He showed up.
So, I mean, I don't know. This was really refreshing for me. I really liked it a lot.
For sure.
Speaking of liking it, Shane.
Yes, sir.
Between Slanted and Enchanted and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, where would you rate this song?
I'm going to put it just under P-Funk.
Wow, okay. That's pretty high up.
I really like. Yeah, I like this album. It was a very different idea, and I dig it.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you, sir?
Well, I'm honestly I'm not far off from you. I'm probably so P-Funk was both of our number 6s.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm probably 1 or 2 down from that, around Kill 'Em All, Wish You Were Here area.
Okay.
I liked it better than the Who, which is even a couple spots further down.
Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna say thank you for liking it better than the fucking Who, because the Who sucks.
No, I liked that album. It,
I know we have this argument every time.
Really,
you bring it up, and I'm like, why?
But yeah, probably I would say in those 20 albums that we rate our stuff on, it's top 10. It's towards the bottom, but it's top 10.
Sure. No, I'd put it around number, I think 7 or 8. Yeah.
So
easily, I liked it a lot. I think I'm gonna go back and like listening to this makes me want to go back and listen to more of their stuff. Like
me too.
This is one of the bands where I hope this isn't their best album.
Yeah, and this is an artist that I'm going to go into my Spotify and not click and not unfollow, like I do with some of these artists, like Leonard Cohen. So I'll let this into my kind of random stuff. You know what I mean? Where I don't typically do that with a lot of these artists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, like the Beatles and Chili Peppers were already there, but
for sure.
So anyway, I guess that's what we thought about this album. It's kind of a short episode, but I'm okay with that, especially after redoing the first half.
It's been a long day already. Short episode, long day.
So yeah, next time we're going to be talking about Arcade Fire.
Funeral. Do you know this band? The Arcade Fire?
I have heard Arcade Fire, but I am not familiar with Arcade Fire, if that makes sense. I've heard several of their songs several times, but that doesn't mean I could pick them out in a lineup, if you would.
Yeah.
Like if we were at a Geeks Who Drink trivia night, I wouldn't know that it's an Arcade Fire song. I might be like, hey, I've heard this before, but I wouldn't know that it was an Arcade Fire song, if that makes sense.
Heard.
I take it you are familiar with Arcade Fire.
Yes, I do know Arcade Fire, for sure. I know this one, and I do like all of their stuff, and this one's pretty good.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, honestly. It's not... it's going to be somewhat new. I'm sure there's going to be a song or two that I recognize if this is one of their more popular albums. So yeah.
Yeah, it's one. I think this one won the Grammy, I believe. I'm not sure.
Okay.
One of them did. I don't remember which one. I think it was maybe Youngstown. I can't remember.
Well,
they won a Grammy one year, and I don't remember if this is the one or not.
Okay. Well,
but anyway,
we'll get there. We'll talk about it.
Okay, for sure.
That's all I got, man. What do you have anything else for this album?
Nope. DEVO's fucking fun, and I do like what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to listen to more.
Yeah, give it a listen. For sure.
For sure.
Okay, well, that's all. Then thanks for listening, everybody. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify. You can find us at facebook.com/sadpandapresentspodcast. That's if you want to reach out and talk to us, hit us up on Facebook Messenger. Or in the comments below the episodes. If you have certain things to say about the comments, let us know what you think about it. Let us know what we can do better. We already know that we can do better audio quality, but go ahead and talk shit anyway. It's fine. Facebook's the place to do that. Leave us a review. I mean, I'm going to ask for 5 stars, but I know we're not a 5-star podcast. That's all I got, man.
Give us 5 stars and then put the real number in the comments.
Right, there you go. That's a good way to do it.
5 stars, but comment 1 star.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Me too. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. I hope y'all have a good day. Thanks, guys.
Later.